Well, if we lost access to these technologies, we would be far less efficient, far less productive as an industry than we are now. It would take us more days between the animal being born and being harvested, and we'd have animals being harvested at lower carcass weights. So if we wanted to make the same 26.1 billion pounds of beef per year as we do now without implants, ionophores, MGA for heifers and beta agonists, the national cattle herd would need another 10 million cattle, and that's equivalent to doubling the herds in Iowa and Kansas. We'd need to harvest another 3 million cattle, and that's 10,000 cattle per day extra. We'd need considerably more feed to feed those animals. That feed volume would fill 1,010 rose bowls every single year. It's a huge amount of extra feed just again to make that 26.1 billion pounds of beef. And in terms of water use, both for animal drinking and for irrigation, that would be equal to adding another 1.36 million US homes on an annual basis. That's a lot more water, and particularly now, as we know, in this drought area that we're in, water use is crucially important. So that's on a national basis. If we look at it on a global basis, in the long term, if we take out access to production enhancing technologies, everything becomes less efficient, and it's basically like adding a tax to the producer of about 8.2% onto the cost of producing beef. So if we take it all the way out, if we go out to the year 2023, so 11 years' time, that 8.2% effective tax would mean by the year 2023 we'd have a 17% decrease in beef production in the state. The US has the most efficient, most resource-friendly beef system in the world. We know exactly how to make more beef using less, and we've shown that over the last 30 years or so. So if global beef production is maintained by the year 2023, but the bulk of it occurs in other countries which have less efficient systems, that has a big effect on total land use, water use, carbon emissions again. The increase in carbon emissions that we would see by the year 2023 would be like adding 522.5 million cars to the road every year. That's 2.3 times the cars in the States right now. That's a huge increase in carbon emissions, and we'd see the same for land use, water use, feed, and so on and so on. So to summarise, technologies are really important to the US beef industry. They allow us to make safe, affordable, wholesome beef that tastes really good with the minimum of resources, water and carbon per unit of beef. And if we take out access to those technologies, both on a national and a global basis, we're going to have far-reaching consequences that are really negative for the environment. And that's going to make feeding the 9.5 billion people on the planet by 2050 really pretty difficult.